Okay, season 3, episode 18. Season 3, episode 18. Switch me, baby, one more time. Yes, obviously, playing off this Britney Spears song, similar name. In this episode, we have someone who's obsessed with Lori. Her name's Alice, and she's new, I guess, and she's obsessed with Lori to the point she wants to become Lori, literally. Meanwhile, Merton has got his own cable access show. Yeah, his own public access show, which is weird. They never showed Dean watching it. It's very weird. But yes, it's the show where I don't know, it's a talk show. They do this thing, I have Tommy on there, they do the thing where they take the coins. I don't know if I can do it with this. I can't do it. They put it out here, you know what I mean? It's like this, and try to catch it. You know what I mean? It slid off right away, I don't know. They put the coins up on the arm and try to catch it. I can never do it. Not even with one. No, I can never. I just mess on my floor. I can, you put it up there and you try to catch it. I can never do it. I was never fast enough, my reflexes, to do it. So, I don't know. Tommy couldn't even do it. But, yes, Alice becomes obsessed with Lori, taking pictures of everything, even stealing her diary. And then we find out, we kind of figure at the beginning that she's some sort of supernatural thing because her eyes glow. We find out she's a body switcher. She switches bodies with Lori and convinces Tommy and Merton that Alice is crazy and obsessive because, Alice is. And I think that was part of her plan. She got all obsessive, dressing like Lori, and then when she switches bodies, she could play on that. And the police situation, like she's on probation or something. But Lori, in Alice's body, won't give up, so she goes to Merton's lair to find a book on stuff, which triggers his alarm system. They go there and she tries to convince them it's not, it doesn't work. And then Alice, as Lori, cries, which should have been the first thing. The first thing is that she didn't like cherry. She's like, it's cherry. Like, you always drink cherry. Oh, yeah, it's just extra sweet tonight, I guess. And then when she cries. She doesn't cry. But then they run into her in an alley. Lori is Alice. In the alley, and the cops show up, and I thought this was going to be a trick, like it was Merton. We never see the cop's face, but I guess they didn't catch on yet. They run off. Merton even at one point says, "Do you need a place to vent off your frustration or tell your story?" So he brings her on the show. So we get a Timmy Eckert cameo very quickly because he's like, "So what is your story again, Lori?" Like, he really doesn't believe her, but she freaks out. This was before the whole cop thing, but she's like, attacks him, and here comes Timmy Eckert, wearing the TNT, by the way, full TNT vest, and so we get to the final part of this episode. Merton is hosting an episode of his show in which his guest is Maxwell Fong, which he then also mentions the above average Scrabble player. But he's brought his newest champion. He's wearing a shirt that says "Thank you for shopping Fong" on it. Excuse me. A shirt that says "Thank you for shopping Fong" on it. And he's brought his newest champion, a South American face-eating wombat. Wombats are from Australia. Not South America, but, and it eats mostly faces. And then they, got to the school. I guess they're in the school because they get there rather quickly, but where Tommy figures out, he's like, because she tries to convince them earlier about, I know secrets. I like you, Merton, you did this, and Tommy, you and I did this. How do you know about that? But she's holding Lori's diary, so that didn't help her situation. But here, she's like, Tommy, ask her what your secret is. One that only Merton and Lori know. And he's like, yeah, Lori, what is my secret? I know it, I just don't want to say it. He turns into a werewolf. She has a reaction, but I feel like it should be a bigger reaction. I mean, he does say earlier, wolf him up. Now you know what it's like to get wolfed up. And so we get to they run onto the TV show where they explain that Lori is not Lori, she's a body switcher. She's telling the truth. And so she switches bodies with the wombat. So the wombat's going around. I mean, before this though, I gotta mention, Merton's holding this container. He's like, are you telling me there's not 1 ounce of phase in this? He goes, yes, 100% phase substitute. That's why the label says, I can't believe it's no phase. I just like, this was a big time where I can't believe it's not butter. It was really big, you know what I mean? I can't believe it's no phase. But anyway, so she switches body with the wombat, and so like the Lori body is all wombat, and then the wombat's going after them. And eventually, Merton's able to figure out they all have to be touching together. And so the wombat goes back into his body, Lori goes back into her body, and I guess, according to Merton, they trap outside her body so that her body just disappears. I don't know, I feel like her body would still be there though, but just to get it over with, I guess. The writing has not been strong this season. But, yeah. So Fong gets his champion back. Merton says he got the whole thing on videotape, but the wombat eats it. He says, bad wombat. He's like, no, good wombat. Yes, you are. You're good wombat. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And if he has emotional damage, I will sue you. And thus we see the last of Maxwell Fong on the show. I thought he was in more episodes for some reason, but no, he only shows up here. It's weird. I would like to have seen him more. Like if they need help with something, they go to him or something. And it's weird because sometimes he's like, hey, Fong. It's like, remember he tried to feed you to his champion. He poked you with silver nitrate last time. And you're just, oh, hey, Fong. I mean, it has been. I don't know what the timeline of the show is. Supposedly it's all taking place in the same year. I don't know. And then Pleasantville Access canceled Merton's show, and Tommy now has a show called Jock Talk, which we don't ever see again. But, and again, he says we're going to show footage from last Friday's game. I remind you, and the writers, the season is over, according to the beginning of season 2. This is all taking place in the same year. The season should be over, but we had Homecoming after that, and then we have continuity all over the place. We're almost to the end. We got 3 episodes left. The next 2, which is a 2-parter. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get on with the final 2 episodes. Final 3. Final 2 actual episodes, one's a clip show, but we are getting closer to the end. So, let's go!